how do we know that we've radically accepted this belief that we are worthy? How do we know that we believe God, that we've radically accepted that we are worthy? It shows up in your actions. That's how you know. It shows up in your actions. It shows up in your actions. Your actions reveal whether or not you are worthy, whether you believe that you are worthy. Your actions reveal whether or not you believe that you are worthy. So what are some of those actions? This is just an example. I'm trying to break this down, y'all. We make the spiritual practical up in here. I want you to be able to walk away with a practical understanding of how to apply this word. So it shows up in your actions. So the first step could be this. It could just be an acknowledgement of his grace and the grace on your life and your purpose. It says that he justified you. This justification is the grace of God. It comes to us. God gives us grace, right? So that we are free from sin. So how do I acknowledge it? I acknowledge it by what I do. I can tell what you believe, not by what you say, but what you do. I can tell that you believe it by what you do. So your actions start telling you. Your actions start revealing. Your actions start directing. So what are you going to do with God's grace? That's the question. The first step is to acknowledge it. The second step is to carry it. Carry that grace with you. Just last week, I went outside, I got on my elliptical machine, y'all, and I got on the pedal and I was pushing down on this pedal and it was so hard. You could tell the gears inside the machine were like stuck or maybe slightly rusted or something like that. I went out and I looked in my garage. I got some WD-40, and WD-40 is made up of a lubricating oil, right? And so I got that WD-40, I sprayed it all down. I probably sprayed too much, who knows, I don't know. But all I know is that once I got back on it, it was working again. Once I got back on it, it was moving smoothly again. And the thing about it is that God has given us this grace. He's brought us into this place of worthiness. We aren't bound by sin, right? It's the binding up in our minds and our hearts of this past, of these temptations, of these things we did wrong, of these mistakes that we made that keeps us feeling like we're unworthy. So if you struggle with that, then today get free by reading Romans 8:30 and radically accepting that it's true. His justification of you is a grace. And I've heard God's grace described as oil. I've heard it described as oil. Oil in the Bible represents the anointing. It represents the anointing. And so you carry this grace or this oil with you, right? When you know you have been justified. This is how I know you believe that you've come into this worthiness. This is how we know that you are radically accepting that you are worthy. We can see it in your actions because when you show up, that grace is with you. That oil is on you. That anointing begins to make everything move smoothly. We can see it. Right? You can feel it. You can tell that it's happening. Your presence begins to facilitate this easy flow of God's goodness in the area of your purpose, and everything begins working together with ease. Your presence facilitates an easy flow of God's goodness. This is what happens. And so we start showing up with grace and we start utilizing that grace. This proves that we believe that we are worthy. This is radical acceptance that we are worthy. A third way, step number 3, we start using that grace. We start using it. So we acknowledge it, we show up with it, and then we start using it. When you believe that you're worthy, when you show up, your situations start changing because you spoke. You can speak a word and the things will change. You can speak a word into a situation and you can literally affect the direction of that situation. You can speak a word because you carry the power of life and death in your tongue. When you speak, things change.